The greatest of all time debate. It's one that never has a correct answer, but also one that will make passionate fans argue like no other. Let's take a look at who fans generally agree are the GOATs across all sports. When you think of sports and the greatest of all time, who comes to mind? The Portuguese footballer is one of the best in the world. He has 837 goals and counting, currently playing in the Saudi Pro League for Al Nassr.
Now Ronaldo, a long way out. What a goal! Not too far out for him.
Or is it Argentinian footballer Lionel Messi? Not far behind Ronaldo, with 806 goals of his own, Messi too will continue his illustrious career with a new team soon. There are reports he will join Ronaldo in the Saudi League to the tune of $1 billion, even more than Ronaldo was paid to make the move.
De Thiago para Messi, el Barça buscando por dentro una superioridad, síguele.
So what makes a GOAT? Is it the stats, talent, influence, personality? Most will say it's a combination, as well as what the athlete brings to the table outside of their sport. So who measures up?
Insanely good.
Roger Federer is often regarded as the tennis GOAT, but it's not unanimous. Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal, and Serena Williams are each also regarded as GOATs.
The return to glory.
Tiger Woods is pretty much the GOAT of golf, with 5 Masters tournaments, 4 PGA championships, 3 US Open championships, and 3 British Open championships. Jack Nicklaus right up there alongside him with his 117 professional wins.
Toss to White. He's in! Patriots win the Super Bowl!
Love him or hate him, but when it comes to football, you'll be hard-pressed to find anyone who says someone other than Tom Brady. No player in the 101-year history of the NFL has as many championships. He holds the record with 7. As for basketball, that's a bit harder to nail down.
Jordan. MJ. Oh, Harry did it! Hey, Michael shakes the finger.
Some will say Michael Jordan deserves the term.
Coming to the end of the third quarter. LeBron James, a shot at history.
While others will say LeBron James. Though stars like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain, and Larry Bird also are in the debate.
Gretzky looking, Gary Curry, McSorley to Gretzky! He did it! He did it!
Hockey's another tough sport. Both Wayne Gretzky, who's referred to as the Great One, and Gordie Howe, who's referred to as Mr. Hockey, get the top praises. And then there's baseball. It's often the OGs of the sport like Babe Ruth and Willie Mays who are regarded as the GOATs. The younger generations clearly have some big shoes to fill if they hope to become GOATs themselves. Us personally, well, we think more female athletes should be on the greatest of all time list, but that's a topic for another day. To talk more about the endless GOAT debate is freelance sports journalist Vivek Jacob. So Vivek, first and foremost, what makes an athlete eligible for GOAT status?
I think you've got to resonate with the fans in sort of this mythical way, like you think of, Michael Jordan or Tiger Woods or Roger Federer. I think that's sort of, the conversation that you have to belong in. There's a lot of players, a lot of athletes over the years who have accumulated so many accolades, but I think the way players resonate in a fan's memory, I think takes you into that GOAT status and almost like above all the accolades, right? And I think, when even, for example, if you look at in women's tennis, people look at Serena Williams as the hands down GOAT, not just because of what she accomplished in tennis, because if you were to look at that, it stacks up pretty evenly with Steffi Graf. But then you look at the other stuff, right? And what women's tennis looked like before Serena and how it looks now and the way she's completely changed the game. That's what kind of elevates her. And it's these intangible factors that come in to make you a GOAT.
You kind of touched on it there a little bit, but at the same time, there are some athletes who are monsters at their sport, but referring to them as the GOAT gets a lot of people flack. People like LeBron James, for example. So why do people get so passionate about this debate?
I think because it's such a fun one to have. And I think on some level, fans also really identify with the GOAT that they grew up with. And so they kind of, associate so much of their own peak of their lives with having watched this athlete sort of go through everything with them. And so, there are people who have watched Michael Jordan throughout his career and will never budge off him being the GOAT. There are people who have now grown up with LeBron James and will say that he is absolutely the GOAT. And so I think some of that factors in. So it gets emotional, it gets passionate. And at the end of the day, there's no way to really argue against those individual memories that people have, that they recollect and make them feel a certain way about a certain athlete.
So if you had to pick from one sport, who's your GOAT?
There's one person. Wow. That's really hard. I think it has to be someone who's completed their career. And I think someone who has stood the test of time would be Muhammad Ali. I think everyone recognizes him as the greatest boxer, but then when you factor in everything that he did outside of the ring, the fact that here we are in 2023 and Muhammad Ali still resonates the way he does, I would probably go with him if I had to pick just one, which is impossible.
A hard question, that's for sure. There's also a lot of young talent currently making their mark in various professional sports leagues. In your opinion, who are some young athletes you think could enter the GOAT conversation as they advance in their careers?
I mean, in basketball, you see the hype that's surrounding Victor Wembanyama, and he just looks like he's from a different planet, right? Like the guy's 7'4" and moves like he's 5'10". And so I think he's someone that will absolutely should be able to come into that conversation at some point. I think if you look at tennis, you've got Carlos Alcaraz, who is catching everyone's attention. And then you also look at a sport like soccer. We had Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo go at it for so long, but now you're seeing Kylian Mbappe with the way he's performed at World Cups, the way he performs at club level. And I think he's definitely someone to look out for as well.
Thanks so much for chatting with us, Vivek.
Thanks so much for having me.